Hey guys, I'm going to show you how I load line onto a baitcaster reel, and I'm going to demonstrate that with my Daiwa Procaster 80, and I'm going to also demonstrate it with high-vis fluorocarbon so you guys can see what I'm doing. The first thing I'm going to do is thread my line through the rod. Now you don't have to do this if you're going to use a line spooler, which I am not. Now before I actually start loading line onto the reel, I want to make sure I know where the spool is spinning. So when I crank the handle, the spool is spinning back toward me. So when I turn it to the side here, you can see it's turning left to right. So I want to make sure my line is actually tying in that direction so that the line is pulling in that direction onto the spool. So now I'll bring in my line here. I'm going to thread it through the guide. And then I'm, in the direction that I'm trying to tie this, I want to go across the front of the spool to start. So I'll thread it through the front and out the back, then grab it, and then go back out the front. There we go. Now, what I want to do with this line, I'm going to pull out some more of the main line here because I want to make a pretty big loop. And then with that loop, I'm going to line it up against the tag end here. And then with the tag end, I'm going to make a smaller loop. So, smaller loop like this. It's going to kind of be like a uni knot. So now with the tag end, I'm going to wrap it around both lines, thread it through both loops, do that 3 times. And then that's 3 right there. Now I'll pull on the tag and close that smaller loop. Now I'll pull on the main line. It's going to come all back out the guide, but that's okay. I'll pull on the main line to bring it all the way down to the spool, nice and snug. All right, I'm pulling on it pretty tight right there, and it's not breaking or slipping, so that's exactly what I want. Now I've got to trim the tag end, so I'll go ahead and pull that taut and get down as close to it as possible. Bam, give it one last tug to make sure it's good and secure. Perfect. Now there are 2 methods I like to do when I load line onto my reels. The first one, and my preferred method, is to have a partner. So I'll have my partner hold the spool of line on a pencil and then apply a little bit of pressure to that spool, so when I'm loading line onto the reel, there's a little bit of tension on that line to give it nice tight coils around my reel. The second method is to do it by yourself, and here's how I'm going to do it. It's really quite simple. I've got a little box that I poked 2 holes on either side of. I'm going to run my pencil through those holes and then run it through the spool line that I'm going to put onto the reel. Then I'll turn the box on its side, driving that pencil all the way through the top so it's resting evenly on the table. Then to make sure that the box stays in place, I'm going to take some tape and tape all 4 corners, front and back. And with that tape in place, that box is not going anywhere. Now I'm going to start loading line onto my reel. And I'll show you guys with my left hand, I'm pinching the line to provide tension, so they get nice tight coils around the spool. You can see right over there, that spool over there holding my line. It is spinning just the way I like it. That box isn't moving around. If I didn't tape that box down, that box would be jumping all over the place. It'd be really annoying. And for those of you guys who are wondering, how do I know when I've got enough line on there, like the load capacity? How do I know when I've reached it? I have a little trick that will tell you guys exactly when to stop loading line onto the spool. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop it right there because I'm gonna swap out this mono for some braid. So now I've got my braid tied onto my mono, and I did that by using a double uni knot. I've got a video on my channel that you guys can check out if you want to learn how to tie a double uni knot. Go ahead and load the rest of this reel up with this 30-pound braid. So when you guys load braid on, what I would highly recommend, like what I just did, put mono on there for a backing. It'll save you a lot of money with you not using a bunch of braid, but also that braid is going to start spinning on that spool and you won't be able to reel in any fish. It's really annoying and it's an absolute mess. So go ahead and do yourself a favor and put some backing on there with some really cheap mono. Also keep in mind when you're pairing mono with braid, make sure it's the same diameter. When you're trying to figure out if your line is at capacity, a rule of thumb, you basically want to try to stay anywhere from 1/16 to a 1/8 inch away from the edge of the spool right here. So you can see I've got about 1/16 difference between the edge of the spool and the line. This is perfect. Well, this reel is ready to go, and if you guys want to learn other fishing tips and tricks you can use on your fishing adventures, I have a whole playlist with a bunch of videos you can check out. I'll leave that right here. Hope to see you guys over there. Thanks for watching.